Welcome to another episode of One of Us Knows What They're Talking About, and the other one is you. I'm Lorie Burch, your host. Join us as we discuss and unpack wills, trusts, estate planning, and probate law in a way that's actually informative, interesting, and, well, hopefully entertaining. Because if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you. Let's dive in. So today we are going to talk about things that you think you don't need, but that you do need.
Yeah.
Right? In the legal and non-legal world, I suppose. I was actually thinking about this today. This isn't a legal example just yet. Don't worry, we'll get there. Everybody calm down. But a feature that came in our Telluride, a lot of cars now, they have that setting. Oh, what's it called? It's the A with like the arrow, like the circle around
Like
it.
the auto shut off.
Right.
Yeah.
Which a lot of, I shouldn't say a lot of people, based off of somebody close to me who's somewhat of a curmudgeon, hates that. And it's like, I don't know what the big deal is. But anyway, there's this auto button that if it's in that setting, that you can take your foot off the gas. And it's just a feature that came with the Telluride. So if you're in stop and go traffic, or more specifically, if you're at a stoplight, you can, if this button is on, you can just take your foot off the gas. It's idling, all of that. And then it turns green and you just put your foot on the gas and go. And I thought that was such a silly thing. But do you know that that feature is really cool? That every time that I get in the Telluride, I push that button. And when you get to there's something like about being able to take your foot off the brake when you're at a stoplight and then, okay, it's time to go now. It's almost like it's the next level getting us closer, even though we're already there, but it's not common, of a self-driving car. So something that you don't think that you need, but you actually do or could benefit from. So let's first talk about some of the legal stuff. So there is a blog that I wrote titled, "Why Would You Need a Will with Little to No Assets?" It's actually a common question that we get. Now, this is a huge spectrum of people here, because one thing that we've noticed is that a lot of law firms that are out there that focus on estate planning and probate, such as ourselves, they're really actually geared more towards the very high net worth clients. And that's all fine and good. I mean, they need their special treatment. But one of the special lanes that we have found ourselves in is that we provide the time, attention, customization, and thoroughness of said law firms, but we provide that to the masses. So some people who will say they don't have anything, and it's actually one of the reasons, incidentally, that I don't like that our practice area is called estate planning, because I will always be approached by people who will say, well, I don't have an estate, I don't need estate planning, or I don't need estate planning, I just need a will. Got news for you. If you have a car or a bank account, a home, something, you have an estate in the sense that something needs to happen, some sort of planning needs to happen, so that if something happens to you, those things will be controlled and or transferred in a easier manner, right? I would dare say that Sam and Sara, prior to finding themselves at the doorstep of Burch Law, probably put themselves in that category. Well, I don't have anything. I don't have an estate. I don't need to do anything. And so actually, I'm going to ask them and put them on the spot in a minute or two and ask them how their perception has changed. And besides Cyntia bugging you, what was the impetus to you getting things in place? Then I think we need to talk about, the difference between powers of attorney and wills and everything like that. But the topic that I'm sticking to right now is that, yes, I get it. Like, estate sounds very sophisticated, monocle type hat kind of life. But no, I mean, really, your car would be part of your estate, your bank account, no matter how much is in it, depending, because we're getting close to payday, Sam. So it's not looking as good as it does after the 26th, right? 26th, 27th, that's about when the direct deposit hits. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we always know when the direct deposit hits, because instead of eating ramen, Sam comes in with Chipotle.
It's not wrong.
Yeah. So valid.
Zero lies detected. So I just wanted to start with that as a way of background, because some people, when they're like, I don't have anything, why would I need to do it? And it's like, well, look, life insurance policy, home, car, bank account, the vast majority of people have something like that. So yes, you do need to do it. So refer to all previous podcasts and all forthcoming podcasts, blogs, communication videos, what have you, to learn more about that. But let's talk about reasons. Let's say you actually really don't have anything. Why would you need to have some sort of plan, whether it's a will or whatever is determined to be the best for you? So one is estate representation. And what that means is that with a will, it appoints a executor, a person who can speak for you. So if there is a wrong, I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm thinking of the Texas Hammer. If there is a wrongful death claim or medical malpractice or something like that, you're dead. You can't bring the lawsuit yourself. I should tell the Texas Hammer that'd be a good title for a blog or something. But there has to be a representative of you, a deceased person. So an executor is someone who can handle those things. And this can be anything from filing taxes or communicating with the IRS or with Social Security. Like, none of these places are going to talk to anybody unless you have some authority to talk for someone who's passed away. This could be handling debts of the estate. Now, you could say, well, who cares about the debts? Well, you don't have to care. I mean, frankly, that's something that we hear from time to time. And it's one reason why we're never trying to get 100% of people to get this planning done, because there are some people who just legitimately don't care about the mess they're leaving behind to their family. Well, part of that mess, though, if you do care, can be credit card bills and all of that. Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't mean that your family or loved ones are responsible for paying them, but who do you think those creditors are going to be contacting upon your death? There's going to be phone calls, there's going to be letters, they're going to be reaching out. So we've had certain instances where there's so many creditors that are tracking down family members that they're just sick of it, that they actually probated a will just to tell them to bug off, which you can do as the executor. They'll talk to you and all of that. So that's something. Another thing, and this could probably be its own topic, is unclaimed property. If you are listening to this, you need to go to whatever state you've ever lived in. So every state you've ever lived in, and look up unclaimed property. You would be shocked. Now, sadly, when I did this most recently, which was a while ago, there's nothing for me. I see Sam doing it right now. It is shocking how much unclaimed property there can be. It can be if someone quit a job and there was some unpaid paycheck, or we actually found something for my stepfather who passed away. There was some unclaimed property. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was a utility or something, where we had moved and closed it, canceled it, and then they just didn't send us a reimbursement check. So it is really random, some of the things that can be out there. Now, another way unclaimed property can happen is if there is a bank account that you didn't know about that a deceased person had, at some point they'll close it and it will escheat, Sarah, to the state. So it'll go into a depository in the state, the unclaimed property. It'll escheat.
I can't even
Sarah.
come up with something to define that.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, please don't. I'd rather you not.
Most people can't. It's fine.
So those are all reasons. So look for that. Did you find anything, Sam?
I thought I found something from UNT, but it says that the year reported was 1996. So I don't think
that's you.
Unless they accidentally put my birth year, but
Yeah.
Maybe I have
Okay.
$72 that UNT owes me from the corner store. You never know.
See,
The corner store?
possible.
Yeah, it's like their little corner, like their little like convenience store
Okay.
in the Union.
You're about to say it's a
Sarah.
little corner store. I was like,
Sarah, how would you define a corner store?
It's what it's called. That's like the actual name of it.
No. How would you define it?
It's a store on the corner.
Right? There you
Yeah.
go. See?
Yeah.
what if?
You are nothing if not predictable. Okay. So another reason you might need a state representation, and this is very similar, these all kind of go hand in hand, but it's also being able to handle or close any online accounts, subscriptions, utilities, other services. We talked in a previous episode about the resources, like after death resources that you can have, like usernames, passwords, digital assets, that sort of thing. So having someone who will have the authority to be able to speak for you to cancel magazine subscriptions. I use that as an example because I mean, I've been doing this a while. And I think it was just recently that someone talked about how that became an issue for them. It's like, I never thought about that because there was a time when magazine subscriptions were a really big deal. Now, magazines will just sign you up on their own and send it to you for free, and you have to tell them to stop. Sarah, have you ever had a magazine subscription?
I feel like when I was little, I was big on the Nickelodeon magazines. I look
Oh,
forward to those every month.
okay. Sam, how about you? Wait a minute. You have a subscription to the Daily Commercial Record, I am certain.
Yeah, totally. I would always sign up for the Barnes and Nobles card because I didn't know how to say no,
okay.
and then that subscription went on for like forever.
Okay.
And I think my parents still get them,
Yeah.
just never leave.
What about you, Cyntia?
Like actual subscriptions, I'm pretty
Yeah.
diligent in like unsubscribing from anything.
But have you ever wanted to have a subscription and had one?
Like to coffee.
We're talking about magazines.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like not to no. Why would I want
Okay.
that? Because
I know.
then it just becomes
But
clutter in your house. It's like getting flowers. You're just giving me something I have to clean up
a
later.
few years ago, and by a few years ago, it's probably like 10 years ago, my mom got me a subscription to TV Guide. And it was actually pretty cool because they have like a lot of interesting articles. So I will have you know, by the way, you TV Guide snobs, is that I would read them, and I read how there was a version of Supergirl that starred Deborah Winger, who is an actress. I'm sure none of you have heard of her, but she's a pretty famous actress, Deborah Winger. And I remember reading that. And because I have this crazy, crazy memory, fast forward months from them, and I'm playing Trivial Pursuit. And the final question to win had to do with who was like the original star of Supergirl. And I'm like, oh, that's Deborah Winger. And the looks that I got winning Trivial Pursuit with that knowledge. And I'm like, I know, it's insane. TV Guide subscription. The subscription that we have now, which is very exciting to me because this goes back to my childhood, but my sister did this for my daughter Adley about a year or so ago, but it's to the Highlights magazine. And so that is very exciting when the Highlights magazine comes. And Adley is bizarrely good at a lot of things. And when I say bizarrely, like, I'm not proud of this, she's scary, frankly. But the ones where you can find the picture, like you find the little thing in the picture.
Yeah.
She's really good at doing those things. I should get a Where's Waldo book for her. But anyway, she's good at that. My only beef I've got with Highlights, which there's probably a whole webpage dedicated to beef people have with Highlights. I'm certain of it. But the beef I have with Highlights is I don't know at what point they got rid of Goofus and Gallant. Because Goofus and Gallant was the best feature. I see Cyntia Googling. Was the
I'm Googling something else.
best
Remembered
feature.
something.
And it's probably not too PC, which I'm actually someone who does think that being politically correct in general is a good thing. But they would have, it was like two different examples, and it would show Goofus like not opening a door for someone, and then Gallant would open a door for someone. So it was stuff like that. And I always thought that Gallant was just the biggest douche. And, and I remember like what a goody two shoes Gallant is. Like, yeah, Goofus can be a little bit of a jerk, but at least he's keeping it real.
There's one from 1955 where it's about pulling over. And the first picture is Goofus on his knees crying. And it says, when Goofus falls and skins his hands and knees, he cries like a baby. The second one is Gallant getting up, and it's Gallant gets up smiling, even if blood is seeping from his knees.
Like you, Sam.
Whoa. So, all right. Well, one, so I have two things.
Crazy.
One, thank you for proving my point. But two, I hope you know, Sam, that I was not born alive or conscious during the 1950s. Like my recollection of Goofus and Gallant comes from the 80s.
Crazy.
And so I think that they toned it down a little bit from the 50s because that's pretty hardcore. And we probably have a lot of boys from the 1950s that we need to talk to because that is what they've been told is the appropriate way for boys to react to legitimate pain.
Seeping from his knees.
Like, is that real?
I think it is.
Cyntia, did you have something?
Yes. So I just remembered that there actually is something I got a subscription for, but it wasn't because I actually wanted the product. It's because I wanted, if you signed up for a subscription to the New Yorker, you got this red tote bag with a pigeon on it, and the pigeon had like a little bubble, and I wanted that tote bag. And so Luke signed up for it for me for like a month.
Nice.
So I could get the tote bag.
Subscription to the New Yorker to get a bougie tote bag is probably the most Cyntia story that you could ever
It's
hear.
not that bougie. It's like, it was like little, I'll send y'all a picture, but it's like a small, like little tote, and it has a pigeon on it. And it says New Yorker.
So back to Goofus and Gallant.
I found another
Sam,
one that's...
Okay. Okay.
I wish I had no little brother. Verse, I'm glad I had a little brother. You know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, so that's my point is, I mean, I realize, and actually Goofus would have like messy hair and probably a shoe untied and his shirt untucked. And Gallant had like, really slicked hair and like a button shirt tucked in, probably with a belt. And loafers and stuff like that. And I just felt like, I think reality is somewhere in between Goofus and Gallant. Like, are those our only two options in life to how we react to things?
Apparently.
So what I really want to know is at what point did Highlight say, you know what, Goofus and Gallant has run its course. And we don't know how to operate in this heightened awareness of sensibilities to convey Goofus and Gallant. But, it would, we actually probably come up with some good modern day Goofus and Gallant in light of things that are going on. I will say this final thing, possibly on Goofus and Gallant. I did do a post about Goofus and Gallant with estate planning. Sarah, you should try and find that. I think that was in it's one of 31 Days of Truth or something like that. I did something.
Okay.
You should pull up that document right now and find it, because I did something about how Goofus doesn't give a shit about his family and doesn't have an estate plan. Gallant has made sure to go to a qualified law firm. Something like that. So anyway, all right. So other reasons, they're all similar. but other reasons why you would need to have a will, even if you don't feel like you have anything. And kind of as a adjunct to the unclaimed property and other things that we're talking about, is you may need to have, well, not you because you're dead, but your family may need to have an estate account open. And this can be for things like reimbursement checks for any sort of prepaid insurance, premiums, rent checks, any other payments that would be owed to you. What happens is when you pass away, a company is going to issue a check, and it'll either be in your name or your estate name. Either way, the way you're going to deposit that is you're going to have to open an estate account. That's a thing. Look it up, or don't, because don't Google, just talk to us. You're going to have to open an estate account. And the only way you can do that is if an executor has been appointed, because they're the ones who have the authority to open an estate account to receive the monies that could be coming. Okay. And then I think the last really big thing, especially for us here at Burch Law, because we deal with so many parents with young children, is that regardless of whether you have any money or funds or anything like that, you need to have something where you designate a guardian who is going to take care of your kids. Because if you don't, what happens if you don't? Sarah, I'm going to ask the one person at Burch Law who never interacts with clients whatsoever.
They become wards of the state and then possibly foster care, and that's it.
Yeah, see? Look at that, everybody. Look at what they've learned. So, yes, so you need to make sure that if you don't want them to go through the court system and have a judge deciding who's going to take care of them. The other thing is that, let's go back to money and assets. No matter how little you have or think you have, most parents I know, myself included, do not think 18-year-olds are the best to be in control of any money or finances, no matter how small they are. So this is another thing that you can make sure that you set up. You may want what little you may perceive that you have to go to take care of your children, but you may not want them to be the ones making decisions on how it's used. And so that's another purpose of having an estate plan in place. But as a transition to a transition, I'm curious. Of course, I'm always curious what Cyntia has to say, but she's really more adulty than these other two. Was I correct when I said moments ago, or a few minutes ago, or however long ago, Sam and Sara, that before you arrived at the doorstep of Burch Law, that you would have never thought that you would need to have any sort of plan in place? Am I right in that?
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So I've done a fair share of picking on Sara. So let's go to Sara.
Ha.
No, just kidding. We'll go to Sam. Sam,
Okay.
how has that changed you as a person in your situation, a childless cat lady?
Yeah,
That describes
Why?
everyone but you on this call.
it's true.
And you're only half of that.
Guys.
You have
I do have 3 cats, 2
like
step
the whole
kids,
childless cat lady,
2
or
bio
cat lady
kids, 1 dog.
kids. Y'all do have a
Yeah.
dog. I forget about him.
Oh,
No,
Chandler Bing.
we have beef.
You have beef with a dog?
Did you not see how he scratched my legs last time? And then I had to be in the corner. I was like in the corner of the couch, like legs up, because he kept trying to he would come at me.
And he would get a little
like
bit more
false start
snorty.
at me.
It was a little.
He either is obsessed with me or does not like me. I don't want to.
Well, I have a question. How do the French get along with people from New Zealand? New Zealanders,
no idea.
Is that a problem? Because he is a Frenchie.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they hate each other and he just knows. You know.
Yeah, I don't know.
He can sense it.
Generational.
Or I can sense that he's French and I'm mad about it.
Well, they actually originate from. Never mind. We're not going to go there.
Okay, good.
It's fine.
So, Sam, how have you changed?
Well, I've learned a lot. So, I've gained more knowledge and seen through clients, experienced how bad probate can be without a will or a trust or any just planning at all, and how heartbreaking it can be and how frustrating it can be. And I don't want that for my family. So,
Oh,
Okay.
thank you.
So, Sarah, what's changed for you in the perception of I don't have anything? Why do I need anything?
I think because I mean similar. Like I just learned what happens without it, and even though I don't have much, it's like, well, I have a dog. I have not a lot of money in the bank account. I think I have more debt than I do savings, but both of those need to be taken care of somehow. Um, and medical decisions and things like that. It's
There you
just
go.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I think I think I need to have somebody take over if I can't, things like
So you
that.
mean me
So
repeatedly asking, like, would your parents just duke it out? Like that wasn't a factor.
yeah, they would
Yes.
just they were rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. So
Because once you turn 18, nobody, not a spouse, not a parent, listen to me, people. Nobody has automatic rights to make medical decisions, have access to medical records, be able to step in and pay bills, handle money improperly. Nobody has the right to do that, even to oversee funeral, burial, cremation. Now, what I don't want to be flooded with, because of all the interest we get from the podcast and people flood us with comments, uh, what I don't want to be flooded with is people where they give me exceptions where something happened. There's a lot of different things that can happen, but the point of what we're trying to convey is that by having a plan in place, being intentional about it, there will be no gray areas, there will be no questions, there will not be relying on the good graces of a doctor, medical facility, bank, funeral director, what have you, that's going to make exceptions or not know the rules. Well, the latter is more likely. Not know the rules so that you skate by, or that you had a very unusual situation that has never been replicated in the history of time. So trust me when I say that one of us knows what they're talking about and the other one is you, that the best thing that you can do, regardless of how little or how much you have, is to make sure that you go to a qualified, experienced law firm that can guide you in these decisions. And no matter how much time and money you spend doing that, it is absolutely 100% going to save time and money in the end. Right?
Right.
Yeah.
right.
So that's why you need to have things that you may not perceive that you needed to have. And with that, I think it's time that we hear from Sam and Sara. I don't know if Cyntia has a guest appearance here, but
I do.
Sam and Sara
Ooh.
on
I'm gonna
other things perhaps that you may not know that you want or need.
Okay, I'm gonna
turn it
start with
over
some
to you.
serial stuff, like some stuff that actually matters for your life. No offense, Sam, Sarah.
Oh, I thought you meant cereal. Like I'm on a Count Chocula kick right now.
Ooh, I
You
never
are?
had it.
Yeah. What?
Oh.
You've never had Count Chocula?
No,
It's fine.
I was a Crave girly when I was young.
What?
Oh,
Crave,
what?
the cereal Crave. It's an American cereal.
Is it with a C or a K?
K.
It's okay.
Huh.
Doesn't it have like chocolate in the middle or
Yeah.
something? Okay.
I would eat it dry. I wouldn't do milk with it.
Just like pop them.
Yeah, it was too soggy. Otherwise.
I mean, yeah, I don't like soggy cereal. Okay, but for real though, people, you need to have several things in your home that you think you're not going to need because, oh, look, I have this electric one. No, don't do that. Okay, you need a can opener that is non electric because what are you going to do when the power goes out and you would like to eat something that is non perishable? Come on. Something
Use the
else.
battery. Is your can opener not battery operated?
I only have a manual one because
Okay,
in
you
the
could
past,
get a
like,
battery operated one.
yeah, but then I have to replace the battery and it's just easier for me to keep one that is mechanical. I like having things that I can fix or that I can like not have to rely on another thing to use. So another tip, this is something that's actually not something you can really control unless you're actively seeking this out. Um, Rent a place or get a place that has gas, like connected, because if the power goes out, you still have hot water. If the power goes out, you can still cook your food.
Are you saying you should have a place in addition to the place you already live?
No, this is just like, whenever you're looking in general. That's why I said you
only
can't
your
really
holiday
control
home
it.
has gas.
That's why I'm
Gas
saying you can't
scares
control
me.
it. Yeah, I know. I refuse to get a propane tank, especially after like hearing Lori's horrible story. Like I refuse. We are a charcoal only household. Like I always have been since I was little because we just I don't know, I like it more. But ever since that, I'm like, yeah, we're definitely never messing with that business.
I think my worst fear in life is carbon monoxide poisoning. So I will
Do you
never
not?
get gas.
You do realize that they make little
Really?
things
Yeah, do you not
that
have like
you
a
can
detector?
I
detect
know,
it.
but like, still, it's my worst fear. So
That's fair.
We've unlocked some Sara lore.
This is rare.
This
Yeah.
is
Oh.
unknown to us.
Yeah.
well,
This
now
is
you know.
brand new
It's-
information.
I think it's my biggest fear.
Huh.
Just
carbon
like
monoxide poisoning.
Yeah.
that's a valid fear, I think. Especially you're in a pretty small apartment, right? So
Right.
But do y'all
Anyways.
have anything that's gas in your apartment?
No. So like I don't worry
Oh.
about it right now.
Okay.
But I'm just saying. That's why gas scares me.
did your parents have it growing up, or is it just like a hearing through stories?
No, they had it growing up. Now that I think about it, but as an adult.
Over the past few years, I've just had some experiences where like storms happen or like a tree falls, so like the power lines go out. But I'm like, I'm good. I can still eat stuff and
That's
have
when
a
you can
Yeah.
hot
tack onto
shower.
there is to get a generator. Especially if you live
Yeah,
in Houston.
we opted instead of the generator because I also don't want to have to rely on gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we got the solar panels with the battery backups.
Nice.
So, I mean, because you may have heard that the Texas power grid is somewhat unreliable.
What?
Somewhat.
Just a little.
Just a
Okay.
little.
Cyntia, did you have anything else to offer with this?
No, I just wanted to go on some rants that I feel are very important.
That's good. All right. Sarah, Sam, what do you have to offer about things that you may not know that you need, but you might actually?
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. So a teeny tiny board game with working pieces so you can finally challenge your local squirrels to a game.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, that was from BuzzFeed. I feel like I should point that out. But I just
Okay, that was my
sounds
question.
like it would be from BuzzFeed.
That was my
not-
question. My question was, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
So you
where
can
do you
get
come
it-
up with this?
Yeah.
Well, that one I found from BuzzFeed, and it made me giggle so much when I was looking at it that I had to.
Do you
Hold on.
know?
What is the theme of this podcast again?
This is
It comes
for
from
this
your
one, it's
own
like,
experience, Sam.
well, I want to play a teeny tiny game with my
Sometimes.
local squirrels. I
Yeah.
would do that.
The UNT squirrels were really friendly.
They were.
They're not going
And
to
then
play
Not
a
that
was it
board
Lucky
game
that
with
you would see now and then? Is that the albino squirrel? Lucky?
I don't remember his name.
I believe it's albino.
Oh, sorry.
It's albino sometimes.
It's,
depending where you're from.
There's a squirrel on the UNT campus. I don't
Depends
think
on
it's the
whether it's in a burrito or not.
We're if you saw Lucky the squirrel, who was an albino squirrel, it was considered like you'd pass your exam or like whatever because it was a.
Oh, it's like a little omen, like a good omen.
Yeah.
Okay.
It probably has more to do with whether you studied or not.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Matches.
But it's a cute little myth.
All right. So, are there any non-BuzzFeed answers? Not a sponsor.
I think the rest
that
are.
was yeah. The other one was just that first one was just the BuzzFeed one.
This one, I think would be really fun. Is I think all lawyers, doctors, etc., should carry an 8-ball around so that when clients and patients ask questions, they can just shake the ball. And I think that would just be a lot more fun.
Did you steal this from me?
Well, it was inspiration. But
Oh,
like
is that what you call it?
imagine going to the doctor and you just ask them like, "Hey, what's this lump?" and they just shake the 8-ball.
Sarah, what would you do if your doctor said that whenever you go?
I think I don't know.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
So this is well thought out, I can tell.
I think it
Oh,
would
yeah,
be fun, but not if it happened to me.
Really?
If
Like,
it
no,
happens to
you think it would be
others.
fun because this is based off of your experiences. Okay,
The
next one.
new
Anyways,
Pit Rock.
No,
The
not
Pit
next
Rock.
one. No, we're not there.
Okay, fine.
So Sarah stole this 8-ball idea from me because this will happen. I'm going to have a customized 8-ball for Burch Law. And it's more internal than client facing. But the questions that get asked from people who are employed by Burch Law, there's a certain set of standard answers that I'd rather them try to work through. What are some of those? What's the number one response I give you when you ask me a question?
What does your heart
what's your
tell
heart
you?
tell you?
What does your heart
Relate,
tell
Sarah.
you?
Yeah, Sarah, what the hell?
So I do like the 8-ball idea. Just going to say. What was the next one?
Pit Rock.
So here's what I don't understand about this. I am barely old enough to remember this, and I actually think I only know about this from like VH1. Does VH1 still exist?
I don't know. Question.
Anyway, so what the hell made you all think of pet rocks? And what is your argument that it's something you don't think you need, but you actually do?
Is it Sarah's
I had a-
inability to keep
I
plants
had a
alive?
pet rock as a kid, if that makes any I think it, as Sam said, that makes sense for me.
That
Yeah,
tracks.
it does. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just need a little friend, you know?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a rock.
It's kind of sad.
I mean, this is the
Speaking of
best
which, what
way.
about-
That's why I have Sam. Sometimes
I'm
just
the
need a
pit
little
rock.
friend.
I'm the pit rock. Yeah.
Wait a minute, Sam's your pet rock?
No,
Yeah.
she's like,
So-
sometimes you just need a little friend. And
That's
I'm like,
me.
yeah, that's why. I mean, this is the best way possible. We have Sam.
Yeah.
If I
thought you were saying-
comes over, I feed her and we hang out.
So just feed me and I'm good. Like I'll be there all day.
Unless it's payday, then she doesn't need you.
I'll still come over and get fed.
She'll still come over.
Are you saying that Sam is something you don't think you need, but you actually need?
Aw.
Yeah.
Aw.
When I sometimes need a little friend.
It's
I just need like a person there to like
I'll potato
to
couch on
bounce
your
off
couch.
with me like ideas, or if I'm doing something and I just need somebody to talk at while I do an action, or like, you know, like one time Sam was really helpful and she helped me clean out a closet. Sam is very indiscriminate when it comes to your things, and she's like, have you used it in the past 6 months? I'm like, well, no. She's like, well, get rid of it. And she will make it very efficient.
I will.
I don't think you understand. She is
Are you
very
like
good at that.
what's that lady's name? Marie Kondo or something?
yeah.
No,
Maria
if it's her
Kondo?
own
What's
stuff,
her
it's
name?
different.
No,
If
yeah,
it's
if it's
your
my own stuff, no. But if it's your stuff, I don't
But
have any attachment to it.
Yeah. It was really
Does
great,
it
actually.
spark joy?
She
I
just
think
asked
that's
me
the
if I actually
barometer.
use it. Yeah, no, that's for Marie Kondo. For Sam is like, do you actually use it? And she'll look at you and you go, no.
Oh.
And she's like, okay, great. Throw it away. And she'll toss it. and
So
you thank her for it later.
when we were moving my mom out of her house, trying to downsize, which I say trying to
Oh,
because we have
boy.
not succeeded. But she has so much stuff. And there came to a point where there were two things that she would say when we would like ask her. And it would either be, I've been looking for that, or, well, I really do need it. And like we had this box, and she was long since retired, right? And we had this like box of highlighters that I could never possibly in an entire lifetime get through all these highlighters. Well, I really do use them. So anyway, we also found like 6 different hand mixers, including ones that like were in the box, never opened or anything. So we got rid of them. And so my mom loves to tell me now to this day, because this was like 10 plus years ago, that she had to buy a mixer.
I mean,
But my favorite was, I've been
One.
looking for that. And I'm like, really? Have you now?
Good.
So always have a mixer. What's next?
My next one.
Googly eyes of all sizes to put on things.
Okay.
That's just to have fun in life. One
What's
time,
the story though? Okay, cool.
I'm getting to it. So one time,
Whoa.
one time, me and Emily were in Target, non-sponsored, and we took a bunch of googly eyes.
Emily and I.
Emily and I went to Target and put googly eyes on all of like inanimate objects, and somehow we didn't get caught, but it's just fun. It makes the objects come to life, and I think we need to have what?
So these were items that you had not purchased
No,
that were still like merchandise on shelves. Okay, cool, great.
they're just sticky. They peel right off. It's not like we're like
I-
super gluing them.
So I want to challenge you and Emily to next time take it a step further and don't do inanimate objects. Do right. And with that said, we do have googly eyes on our Keurig. Just going to put that out there.
I would also do it to items I own that are in my home that are not
Right.
You know, in a store that are still on the shelves.
So this is something that people don't think they need, but you're saying you need. Okay. In the interest of time, what's next?
Decorative bath towels that you can't use.
Explain. I mean, you don't have to explain what that is. We all know what they are, but tell us why you actually need them. Because they're decoration. Is that all you got?
So they go with your house and they look pretty, but you can't ever touch them.
It's like having fancy soaps that your guests can't use.
Okay, for the record, whenever y'all come to my house, please use the ghost bath towel, like the hand towels. Just use them. Just please.
What about people who have a ridiculous amount of pillows on their bed or couch?
Oh. That would drive me nuts, but I get it.
Like having to move those every day would be so annoying.
Okay. I'm going to say that I think you all could have done a lot better with this topic. So I think it's actually a really great topic. But what's the last thing that you have here?
I put live, laugh, love signs because for a while I started going on the topic of things you don't need. And then I remembered what the topic is. And then, so moral of the story is we all should live, laugh, love more. So maybe you do need a live, laugh, love sign.
Sarah, nobody
I have a
needs
question
that.
for you, Lorie. How many candle snuffers do you need in a household?
Candles.
She doesn't listen to this, right?
I mean, there's always a possibility.
Oh, okay.
The one episode she listens to.
So the fact that candle snuffers exist is just amusing in and of itself. But I was raised, ladies and gentlemen and others, where one does not blow out a candle. That
you do not.
That is for the proletariat. That is for plebeians. that is for the rubes of society. One uses a candle snuffer, and that is the appropriate way, the only way to put that out. And growing up, how many candle snuffers do you need is in direct correlation to how many candles you have going. Because you need to have a candle snuffer adjacent to pretty much every candle that's lit.
Wow.
Well, I just have my one candle snuffer that I do and just walk around the room.
The same reason you can't have one pair of scissors. You need to have, or as I was brought up to call them, skizzers. You must have a pair of skizzers at the ready. Are you proud of me, Mom?
Hold on. I do at my house. I have inside scissors. I have craft scissors. I have kitchen scissors.
But do you have refrigerator scissors? Because
wow.
does my mom have refrigerator scissors? You bet your ass she has refrigerator
So
scissors.
are these scissors that just live in the refrigerator, attached to the refrigerator? What's the purpose of them?
No,
Are they
they're in the
only
refrigerator because when you get like 6-packs and stuff, and you have the plastic, you can cut the plastic. So great. So I think again, I'm slightly disappointed. I think you could have come up with better stuff because I think there's a lot of things in life that we don't think that we need, but we do, and or we can make use of. But we did something. So I think those are good topics, and thank you. Thanks for listening. And just to cover all our bases about what you just heard, I'm sorry and you're welcome. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And tell your friends about us. We do webinars and live events. The best way to stay up to date is to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Links are in the show notes. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, maybe you have a question you'd like us to answer, or maybe you just want to say hi, hit the link in the show notes or go to burch-law.com/podcast and fill out the contact form.
much better.
Yeah, I thought that had a lot of energy.